So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I want to thank all of our colleagues across the college that have been staffing the welcome back tables. If you've passed them at any point over the last 2 days, you will see that there is always students there asking questions, looking for help. So it is greatly appreciated. And we understand the time and the commitment as you're trying to do everything else that needs to happen at the beginning of the semester in order to be there. So it is wonderful. A number of us had the privilege of being at the front gate yesterday morning. So I know, especially for faculty having been there, it's a little heartbreaking that summer's over and you're back again. But the energy and the excitement of the students yesterday was absolutely fabulous. All of them smiling and excited to be here. This morning, they were much more mellow, right? Because now it's day 2 and they're back. But it's just a wonderful feeling. So I hope you've been able to walk around campus and just see the energy level there. So we have a lot of updates to share. A number of our colleagues will be doing that, but we want to leave much more time for you to catch up with each other. So we are hoping to keep this an hour or under, and then have refreshments in the lobby of QPAC so that you could just talk with each other and share how your summers have been. We also know that in the world around us, right, there's a lot of turmoil going on. And so it's just a reminder that, we are standing strong. We want everyone to teach the curriculum that is part of your class. Nobody should ever feel concerned that they can't teach a topic because of what's happening in the political environment. We are not changing the names of any of our programs, any of our offices, any of our colleagues, the titles. CUNY is adamant about this also. And, we are very lucky to be in the state of New York with the New York State Attorney General, Tish James, who is also fighting back every step of the way. As rumors of what's coming next, they're already working on, lawsuits to put out there. So I know it's nerve-wracking, but I hope people realize that, within the walls of our campus, right, we are in a safe space. And just to remember, that we want to continue with who we are as a community and being in community with one another. I know there was also some concerns about, students potentially videotaping what you say in class. And, so people were asking, what's the policy? No matter what the policy is, between the AI readers, right, for transcripts and the ability to videotape without any of us realizing it, even though they wouldn't be able to do anything with that on our campus, we can't stop that from getting posted on social media and going viral. So the only thing I could suggest, right, don't say anything that you don't want to see on the front page of a newspaper or going viral, right? To just really be careful that, and I mean that in, not about your curriculum, right? But you have personal feelings about things and stuff like that. The other area of concern, right, that we just want to talk about is First Amendment auditors. So these are people that go to campuses to try to catch people on video, repressing their right to be there. We had that a couple years ago on some of the CUNY campuses where they have video cameras and they'll go into public spaces, into the library or into a public safety office, and they're trying to goad people into reacting so that they then have something to show on YouTube. All you need to do is be polite. They're allowed to be there. We can't stop them from being there. They're only allowed in public spaces. They cannot come into a classroom. They cannot come into private offices, but they can walk around the library. They can go into the tutoring center. They can go into, IT help desk. just treat them like you would any of our students, and they're going to go away because they're not getting the content that they're looking for. It's going to be harder for them to get onto our campus than some of the other CUNY campuses, right? Because they have to show ID, or as a guest, they have to have a reason for being here. Public safety is very aware of who they are, so it might most likely will not happen. But if it does, understand that if you don't react, they're going to move on to another office to try to get somebody else to react. So they were on Queens campus last week, so that's why I'm bringing it up again. And then there's the world of grants. We had, 2 grants that had stop work orders last year. One has been reinstated over the summer, but the day it was reinstated, the federal government put another lawsuit out to hold it again. So right now we have the funding, the work can continue, but it's just a constant turmoil, right? Is the word that I used when we started here. But we will get through all of it, and I don't want that to be hanging over us so heavy during the semester and during the year, because there's so many amazing things happening on campus. Our students are absolutely fantastic, so we want that to be the energy across the campus. We are also in the last year of our 5-year strategic plan, which would technically end at the end of this academic year. But because we're also going into middle states, it makes much more sense to extend the plan and continue the work that we're doing for 1 more year, so that once we have the self-study, we have the recommendations from the site visit, we then have some really strong data to then help inform what is our plan for the following 5 years. So we will, continue to share progress along the way. But we want to make sure that next time's strategic plan is aligned with middle states also. And speaking about our strategic plan, the number 1 goal is to get all students to a 40% 3-year graduation rate. We're not there, but where we are is really seeing very high increases in retention, fall to fall, persistence from the fall to the spring semester, and closing the equity gaps for all of our students based on ethnicity and gender. So I do believe that we are going to see a huge jump in graduation rates in the next couple of years as we keep going. So again, amid all of the pressures that we have, we want to just stay in community with one another. Last April, we did a lot of come together and play pickleball and take a yoga class and walk around the track with me. And it was so a lot of participation in all of that. So we're doing it for the entire fall semester. And I really want to thank Yesenia Garcia and the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging for taking the lead on that. On their website, you can see all of the activities listed for the entire fall semester, and they're using the tagline, Pause and Recharge events. So please, participate and just enjoy each other. The other thing that is going to be new is, besides the transparency series that we've been doing once a month on Fridays from 10 to 11, we're also going to implement lunch and learns, which we're going to call Insights and Bites, on one Friday a month during lunch hour, where we will provide lunch, and anybody that wants to come and join to learn about what's happening in various offices, so that it's, again, a way to come together, but also to learn what's happening across campus. We are going to continue with the Catch Up with Christine's once a month on Microsoft Teams I've never gone over 15 minutes. So you can, jump on, get a real quick and dirty understanding of what happened in the last month. We're also continuing the CARES Awards. We do not have anyone that we're celebrating for the month of September, because we wanted to really get many more people nominated through the process. So we are going to share information. Anybody can nominate anyone. who has gone above and beyond normal duties to help a student out and share like what was that you saw so that we can highlight that. So look for that, and please look around campus and see there's so many people that are doing such amazing things. And then a really exciting thing that happened at the very end of last semester is our foundation board, right, which is the fundraising arm of the college, wanted to create a legacy gift for the college. So they wanted to donate up to $1 million for something that would last. And so they met with lots of students, they met with faculty and staff. They spent last year really exploring where the need is. And we know that students stop out for two reasons. The first reason is because they can't afford to pay their tuition bill. And so the foundation a couple years ago created the Promise Scholarship to help students pay off their bill. The other reason is for mental and physical health reasons. And we know that counseling has seen a lot of people, a lot of students through the time. We've seen students in crises. So they are willing to put the money into a space for students to just relax, and again, be in community with each other, make friends with one another. So it is going to be on the lower level of the science building. It's going to take us probably 2 years to clear the space, finish the walls and the ceiling and stuff, because it's not inhabitable right now. But then it is going to have waterfall and Zen pods and massage chairs and just a space to come and relax and be open to everyone. Attached to that, we will have a space to then start a women's leadership center. So we have, for the last couple of years, through funding through a foundation, been able to have female staff members attend a series of professional development workshops and then continually meeting with each other to build on those learnings. This year, we are also going to focus on faculty leadership. So in the next day or two, Linda Vestone is going to send out an email to all faculty if you're interested. There's no commitment. That doesn't mean that you now need to take on a leadership role on campus, but if you're interested in just developing that muscle, reach out, respond to Linda's, and her and I are going to work together to figure out what is this going to look like based on the needs of what the group is looking for. The other thing that we're doing is continuing with our unseen threads. So last year, we had sent 10 faculty and 10 staff, and we're going to do it again this year. They do a day of workshops in our Holocaust Center, and then they go down to Alabama to the Equal Justice Institute for 2 days of learning to figure out how do we incorporate knowledge of past and current hate into the work that we're doing to really support our students. So in the next 40 minutes or so, you are going to hear from Gisette on facilities and budget, Brian on enrollment and NYSIP, Stephen on Navigate, wayfinding, kiosks, and some of the capital project funding we've gotten from elected officials. And Phyllis will provide an update on the Dean of Institutional Effectiveness position and a description of next week's faculty welcome back. But first, our Middle State Steering Committee members would like to share a few words, so please welcome, and more importantly, thank Professors Andrea Salas, Robert McAleer, and Peter Bales for their willingness to serve in this capacity.
All right. Thank you, Madam President. I am Peter Bales from Social Sciences and History with my colleagues Andrea Salas from Health, Physical Education, and Dance, and Rob McAleer from English. And thank you very much. One guy started the applause. And we're the executive committee for the Middle States Report, and we are doing it. We have started. We are going full-time in the fall of 2025. Now, every 7 years, our college needs to be accredited by Middle States. and it's time. And there are 7 chapters or areas that we're focusing on, and we're going to put that into a written report of approximately 110 single-spaced, double-spaced is what it really is, I tell my students. But it's 100 pages plus, and we are going to talk about the great things that are happening on this campus. We're going to write it up, and we're going to prove it by collecting evidence and putting it into an online evidence inventory. Now, there are, by my count, 92, and probably more, members of the QCC community working with us. And that's from all departments and from the administration, and they're focused on the different areas. So you're going to see them on campus asking you questions, asking for evidence, and please give them any assistance that you can. Okay? And here's kind of the schedule. We're rolling here in the fall. We're up and running. And the working groups, there's 7 of them, are going to come up with an outline for their chapter in the Middle States report. By the time of the spring, writing it up. And by the end of the spring, we're going to have a pretty good Middle States report ready to go. We're going to work in the summer to get a final form for this thing. And by the fall of 26, we'll have a darn good document for the entire campus, including students, of course, faculty and staff, to check out and comment on and make additions to. And then the spring of 27, Middle States sends a delegation with their white gloves on to check for dust on the podium. They're going to be checking us out, and we're going to have a visit with them, and it's going to be successful, and they're going to have our report. And we just want to make sure everybody's aware that this Middle States is going on. This Middle States report is coming together. We want to be especially aware during the visit because they come up randomly to students, yes, and to faculty and staff, and talk to them. And when they come up to you, if they do, hi, I'm from Middle States, the last thing we want is, what's Middle States? So we're going to be at meetings continually now between now and then, reminding you and updating you on how the Middle States process is going, and it's started off well. And I would like to introduce my colleague now, Andrea Salas, from Health, Physical Education, and Dance. Okay.
Thank you, and thank you, Peter. So welcome back, everyone. I'll just be really brief because you've already gotten a good summary of what we're going to be doing over the next 2 years. I'll just wanted to let you know that we do have a Middle States self-study on our website. If you go to About on the main page, and then you'll be able to click on our self-study, which right now has a description of what the self-study is, along with those 92 plus colleagues who are participating in it. And we thank them, and we thank all of you for being a part of our journey together. So now I'll have Robert speak for you a little bit more about the working groups.
So I got to go last, so I'll be brief. I just wanted to say that, I think one of the things, obviously this work is really important for our college getting accredited, but I also think it's a great time for us all to step back and share and reflect on all the work we do here every day. We're all so busy. So I think it can be an opportunity for that. So there's a little bit of pressure for accreditation, but it's intended, to be something where we evaluate ourselves and also take pride in the accomplishments we have. There are 7 standards. We decided we're not going to read them all to you today, but I'd encourage all of you to go and look at what those standards are. They cover almost every aspect of the work that we do here at Queensborough. So I think that if you aren't aware of what Middle States is, as Peter said, you should be, because someone might be coming to you and asking you for documentation or evidence in order to prove that we're doing what we say we're doing. So thank you very much. And I just really want to thank especially all the people who are going to take the time this year to volunteer to write in the working groups. It's a lot of work. I know I've done it before. I remember getting there at 8 in the morning, and David Sarno was always there with a smile on his face. It's not always easy, but thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us.
Comes with being vertically challenged. So let's adjust the microphone a little bit. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gisette Forte. I have the pleasure and the honor to serve as your Vice President for Finance and Administration. Welcome back. I want to start, whether you are one of our incredible faculty or one of our amazing staff that makes this campus thrive, I want to start with 2 words: thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your trust. And thank you for your help on the day-to-day assignments, tasks that happen on our community. Now, I know Chris said that I was going to speak about the budget, and you're probably expecting spreadsheets and a boring presentation. So I promise one thing: there's none of that today. I'll try to keep it brief. Christine also spoke about the challenges that higher education is constantly facing. I want to say that we're QCC strong, and so is our financial health. Last 2 years, we set a course and we set a path to recovery, and we have done that. Obviously, it has taken a lot of planning, a lot of sacrifices, realignments, expenditure controls, and to be quite honest with all of you, teamwork. So thank you for your commitment, thank you for your trust, and thank you for the discipline that we all have worked together to get us where we are today. I am happy to share that our budget for the fiscal year 2026 has been approved by central office, which means that we are aligned not only here on campus, but system-wide. So I'm very happy. I wanted to share those news with you. Now, QCC continues to invest and to prioritize infrastructure. Like all of us, buildings age. We know that we have buildings and infrastructure that could be 50 years old. So we need to pour love into our infrastructure. So we will continue the work of modernizing our campus so our students, faculty, and staff can thrive. Over the next few months, over the next year, you'll see some of those things coming to fruition. And I hope we meet those needs and those demands that the campus have. We're also being smarter in terms of revenues. We are working, we're doing an incredible work in terms of generating revenue, not only through auxiliary, but through facilities rentals. We have reduced overtime, we have increased enrollment, and we will continue to align with the things that will make us more effective. So I also want to talk about facilities, because we're always talking about buildings. It feels like a second nature for me. So I'll start with the good, a little bit about the middle, and then the bad at the end. Mix it up a little bit. So I want to start with the library. We got brand new bathrooms that are ADA compliant. So this is just the beginning. So if you have not been to the library, go and check the bathrooms. They will be the standard for our campus. So we will be moving this process hopefully soon to a next building near you. So I'm happy to share that. I'm proud of the significant improvements. So if there is a sunny day and you don't know what to do, go walk by the track. You will see that we upgraded realign the track. You will see that there is a brand new basketball court. I expect some people to try on their 3-shot and maybe, play some games. And then you have the pickleball, and then you have the tennis court. We will be working this year to provide more outdoor services to our community because we know that brings engagement, and we want everybody to have a great experience when you're at QCC. Now, I'm also happy to share that over this summer, B&G, our team, worked really hard to modernize human resources. I want to invite everybody to join us on September 30th for the open house. What I want to share that what we did is a renovation that would allow us to serve our faculty, our staff, and our students in a better way. We want to be customer service centric. I believe that HR is the first place that you go when you come in, and the place that will see you at your best and happiest moments, and the place that will see you also when you're retired. So all your career life. And we want to honor that. So I'm hoping that when it's not only a renovation, but a transformation. I'm thrilled to announce that today we got the certification to finally open the sushi place. So if you have not stopped by the SUL, right there, front and center, there is a sushi place. So on Friday, they will be having free samples of boba tea and sushi. Maybe they don't know yet, but they will. And then hopefully this will continue to create more spaces where students, faculty, and staff can engage. Now, to the not so good news. I am sorry the RFK is having so many different issues. The reality is that in our bureaucratic system, we work with DASNY, we work with CUNY, and everything takes time. As I mentioned before, this is a building that needs a little bit of love. It's aging, and so we have been working over the summer with DASNY and Central to first remove all those panels in the facade of the building. Now, that's not an easy task. Obviously, they weigh pounds and pounds, probably more than 100 pounds. So that takes time and take equipment and knowledgeable construction teams. We continue to work with them. It has taken longer than expected, so I apologize for the inconvenience and the parking and the last minute. We are dependent on DASNY. So, as much as I want to plan, I still have to talk daily with DASNY. So our hope is that phase 1 will end shortly and all the panels will be removed. Then phase 2 is that they will be waterproofing the roof, waterproofing the panels, and phase 3 will be design of a new facade, design and construction. Like anything, takes time and takes money. So patience as we navigate this new challenge. That's all I ask, for your trust and your patience. Over the summer also, we moved towards following CUNY policy in terms of the financial management. You'll see that we're heading towards a cashless campus. So I hope that you receive the emails and the communications and that you are able to work with us in terms of making that a reality. So I want to end by thanking everybody for the work that they do. This month is my 2-year anniversary, and the thing that I love the most is the community. I feel home. And the last thing, I wish for everybody a semester full of pride, full of purpose, and success. Thank you. And now I want to welcome my colleague, Brian.
So good afternoon, everybody. That's really hard to top right there, but want to welcome all of you guys back and also welcome our student government members, our newest members of student government who's joining us today. So let's give it up for our student government members. Really just provide some updates around enrollment and the New York State Opportunity Promise Program. As you may know, our strategy for the past 2 years was to increase enrollment by 3% each year. So 3%, it's about 300 students, okay? That's not brand new students, that's continuing students and incoming students. I'm happy to say that we've been able to do that for the past couple of semesters, right? And that by early this May, we had 50% of our continuing students registered. So that's kudos to our teams and advisement and all the different areas supporting our students, and 50% of them were registered by May. I'm pleased to report that as of yesterday in our enrollment report, we're at 101% towards our FTEs, right? So FTE, if you don't know, that's how we get paid, right? That's how we generate our revenue. And it really is a partnership with everybody to make sure that we have the courses to offer and really the opportunities for our students. So we're really proud about that. You may be following the tracker on your computer and you may see that it's 100 students off. I'm not really worried about headcount because some of those headcounts will come later on because those are College Now students and some of our college programs. It really is about the FTE, and hopefully by tomorrow, we may increase that to 102, 103%. So we've been able to continue to grow enrollment, for the past couple of semesters, and we'll continue to do that and to partner with the departments, with OAA to make sure we can streamline the opportunities for our students. One part of the enrollment strategy is not relying on that typical high school track to college, right? We know that many students are taking gap years, things like that. So we're really trying to partner with international students. We're partnering with community-based organizations, and we're trying to dip into Nassau County because we're at a better price point than Nassau Community College, right? So we'll continue to kind of look at opportunities around that. I'm happy to say, despite all the things that are going along with visas and banned countries and things like that, as of a couple of days ago, we were still able to take in 108 new international students. Our international population is growing, so we'll continue to look to see how we can support those students that want to come to us. We've developed partnerships with Education USA to really streamline a process, develop partnerships, things like that. So really excited about the work that's going along with that. Lastly, I'll just talk a little bit about the New York State Opportunity Promise, right? So you may have seen a lot of communication about free community college at CUNY. There was a big press release with the governor at LaGuardia a couple of weeks ago. So just want to go over a little bit what that looks like. So it's called CUNY Reconnect, right? Not to be confused with the old Reconnect program, but it is CUNY Reconnect. It's New York State Opportunity Promise. Not to be confused with opportunity programs like CD, SEEK, HEOP, EOP. But this program is really for adult learners aged 25 to 55, okay? Students don't have to apply for this program. They just qualify, okay? So what happens is Central does a run. We get a list of students that are already coded, and we'll do some outreach to them. But no, it's the last dollar. It's not the first dollar, right? So they have to apply for financial aid. If they're part of ASAP, if they're part of College Discovery, all those benefits will come in first, and then this will cover everything last. This is different from the Excelsior Scholarship. You don't owe anything back. So if you decide that you don't have to work for the state a year after, or if you don't do it, you owe the money back. This is for these students. It's specific majors. We have a website that we developed so folks can kind of take a look and see what the different majors are. And we're looking to see how we can continue to make sure that students who qualify have this opportunity. Last run, we have about 633 students who qualify for this. That's both incoming and continuing students. So if you just happen to be taking classes right now or last semester and you fit within the category, you qualify for this. So we do some communication to those students to let them know that they're eligible for this. Our target goal is about 715 students by the end of the academic year, and I'm pretty confident that we'll get there. But we're gonna need your help because we have to develop programs, we have to to continue to develop courses and make sure there's availability, for those students as they kind of move forward. There's credits for prior learning, and then a lot of different wraparound service and support for these students. So you'll start to see a little bit more of that, advertising. We're partnering with marketing and communications to do some targeted outreach to students and things of that nature. But it's a program that's here. Students don't have to apply. Once again, they're eligible for it. If students change majors, things like that, we're working on a business process right now to make sure that, everybody that's eligible gets the benefits for it. So those are our updates for student affairs and enrollment management. There's a lot of activities going on during the club hours. So take advantage of the free ice cream outside. If you want to stop by the SUL, there's a lot of different events. The gaming club is happening. We have a resource fair coming up. We have a club fair coming up. And stay tuned for what student government has to offer. So thank you, everyone.
All right. Well, I cannot beat free sushi on Friday, Gisette, but I will join in welcoming everybody back and thanking all of our colleagues who have spent the summer preparing for an incredible fall semester. So we're really excited to kick it off. So today I want to talk a little bit about some of the items I shared last year during the Welcome Back, close the loop and give folks some updates. Everything that I talk about ties directly to our 5-year strategic plan and is directly connected to our culture of care goals. So last year, we talked about the university-wide transition from Starfish to Navigate 360. And I'm excited that that transition is now officially complete. And at the end of this, we're going to show our top 3 faculty champions and our top 3 administrative office champions who have been using it throughout the year. Last year, I also shared that our Office of Institutional Research found that our early alert messaging messages that were in Starfish actually had the opposite effect than their intended goal. So instead of helping, these messages reinforced a student's belief that they did not belong in college. Students were actually more likely to stop out after receiving these alerts than taking the intended action. So I wanted to thank the Office of Institutional Research for the very comprehensive study and the director of Elizabeth Lackner for sharing that insight with us. But it was also an important reminder of the importance of not just what we're communicating, but how we're communicating. So I shared last year that we were going to partner with behavioral scientists to do an audit of all of our communications to students and then to update them in EAB Navigate 360. So that work is complete. We have rewritten 30 early alert, referral, and kudos messages and worked with 8 administrative offices to create 24 new templates for key enrollment steps. So now that this is complete, every message a student receives will be rooted in care, motivation, and belonging. And in the coming weeks, when faculty receive their email from the Office of Academic Affairs, encouraging them to complete the student progress reports and Navigate, please do, and please know that the nudges that you're providing are rooted in this work and are rooted in behavioral science, and hopefully will have an incredible impact on the success of our students. I also wanted to share that faculty in the past, as well as advisors, have asked to be able to see all of the messages that students receive. And because those messages are so targeted, that's a little bit complicated. But what we've been able to do is add them all into EAB Navigate. So starting this semester, all non-protected communications that go to students will be visible in the student profile. So this will allow faculty, staff, and advisors to reference and reinforce the same messages that the students are receiving in their daily interactions. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that did not display. So we've also been busy making some updates to the QCC Connect app, and we're going to start by doing a demonstration of our new kiosk. So faculty in the past had shared that they were not sure if students always followed through after a referral in Navigate. And then at the same time, our students told us that access to services was not always consistent depending on the office. So this summer, we installed 21 Navigate kiosks in 14 offices, with more to come. And we are the only CUNY college using this level of innovation within our early alert system. So let's show how it works. All right. So if a student walks into an office, let's say it's academic advisement, simply they open up their QCC Connect app and they tap it. And as you can see, the display asks them what they're here for. So whether they have a scheduled appointment or they're doing a walk-in, they'll select their service and they'll be entered into a queue. So yesterday we were actually testing this out, and 5 minutes after we checked in, Michael Verdino in Academy Advisement sent me an email that said, "Are you really in my waiting room here to see an advisor?" So we know it works. So what's so great about this is that it records the student's visit and then it's logged in real time. So if a faculty or an advisor makes a referral to the tutoring center, for example, they will be able to see that two students took action on that. And I want to acknowledge our Bursar's office because they had over 10,000 walk-ins since Navigate launched. And in the student profile, they took 10,000 notes recording each visit, which is incredible. So a few updates in the QCC Connect app. The other is our digital ID. So every student, faculty, and staff member now has a digital ID card, which, as I shared, is fully integrated in the Navigate 360 kiosk system. It's also usable at all of the pedestrian gates. So a student just taps and can walk right on, and public safety knows that the student has the student's information and knows that it's a valid ID. And then next month, students, faculty, and staff will be able to load funds into the digital app, which they can use to pay at the cafeteria, student parking lots, and anywhere Tiger bucks are accepted on campus. So that's another great advancement for our app. And then I think a long-standing barrier to belonging on campus is simply knowing how to find your way around, right? So for our students, visitors, and even our colleagues, the campus is confusing. Signage is not always present, and the numbers don't always make sense when we're walking through the various campus buildings. So we have a new digital wayfinding map in the QCC Connect app. So a student can open up the app, and if they're outside looking to make their way to the RFK building, for example, all they need to do is type in RFK. GPS will identify exactly where the student is on campus and give them precise turn-by-turn directions in real time. So you can see that displayed there. The other cool thing is that this works indoors. So if you're in QPAC and you wanted to go to M136, for example, the student would just type in M136, and it would give them turn-by-turn directions from this location to that classroom or that to that office. Over the course of the next few months, before the spring semester starts, we're going to be using the existing Wi-Fi hotspots that are located in all of the buildings and connecting it to the app so that The app knows exactly where the student is in the hallway and can tell them that they're just a few feet from their next class or the lab that they're trying to find. So we're utilizing existing technology, which is no cost to the college, and it's a great way to help the students be able to navigate. And then at the same time, we're also working with partners to survey the exterior of the campus to do physical wayfinding work. So what we're going to be doing is adding directional signs, helping students, faculty, staff, and visitors be able to navigate the different parts of the campus. We'll be updating ADA signage with room numbers mounted beside doors, so they're visible when the doors are open and closed. We'll have better corridor directional signage, so if you're trying to get from medical arts to science across that driveway, you know exactly what you're doing. So all of this is in line with our plan for accessibility and being able to support our students. And then finally, I just want to thank all of you for your advocacy over the last several months with our elected officials. It has been a historic year in terms of capital funding that the college has received, and that's truly a testament to all of the work that you do for the community, that our elected officials are willing to invest so much in you. So we've received over $3 million from the borough president for renovations to the library, $3.8 million from City Council member Linda Lee for the RFK locker rooms. We have $3 million pending with Representative Grace Meng for childcare. So in total, it's nearly $10 million this fiscal year. And then we've also received a significant amount of funding, as you could see, from our local elected officials to support various campus initiatives. So thank you.
Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to see everyone here today, to welcome back those of you who have been away for the summer, and to welcome to a new academic year those of you who have been working here all summer long so hard. We appreciate all of your efforts. We appreciate everything that you do. And I'm especially glad to see that so many of you are here and not terribly distracted by the news that broke the internet yesterday that the English teacher and the gym teacher got engaged. For those of you who don't know the code, that's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I really am here to provide kind of a commercial interlude before the president comes up with closing remarks, because the Office of Academic Affairs is basically having its own show on September 5th, and I'll talk about that in a second. But before I do that, I want to ask you for another round of applause for our Middle States co-chairs. I want to emphasize their work because they're providing remarkable and much needed leadership to a very important process. Accreditation is the college's opportunity to really show its stuff. Queensborough Community College is a great college. We do a lot of wonderful things, and this is an opportunity for us to really show and talk about what we do so well. So I'm really looking forward to working with the co-chairs and the committees and really showing Middle States that this is actually the best community college in New York. Yes, that does deserve applause. I wanted to also mention that, as many of you are aware, Dean Cordetti did retire last year, and we are in the process, and still in the process, of searching for a new Dean of Institutional Effectiveness. Special thanks to Dr. Linda Bastone and the committee, the search committee. They are working very hard. We did have to reopen the search. We do have some viable candidates, and we will be in the process of interviewing, so we are hopeful that we will have someone in place very soon. But in the meantime, between the Office of Academic Affairs and the President's Office, we will provide support to the Middle States team as needed. I do want to let you know, however, that I am happy to welcome a new confidential executive assistant to the Office of Academic Affairs, and she is Connie Reyes. This is particularly exciting. I don't know if you know Connie, but she currently works in the nursing department. Connie is a product of the CUNY system. She is an alumna of Queensborough Community College, and she did subsequent degrees at John Jay and Queens College. She's been here for 21 years, and she's like a hidden gem. So we're really excited to have her move up to the Office of Academic Affairs, and I can't wait. She starts on Friday. So welcome, Connie. And so, as I mentioned, the Office of Academic Affairs has its own show coming up. That show is the Faculty Welcome Back, and it will be on September 5th from 9 a.m. to noon. And during that event, we will provide a welcome back breakfast. We will provide some updates, some information. There'll be time for conversation and to get input and feedback from our faculty about some very important initiatives that the Office of Academic Affairs, on behalf of the college, has been working on to promote and improve student success. So I hope that we will see all of our faculty, HEOs, and CLTs at that event. And again, that is September 5th. From 9 to noon. Be there. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our illustrious president, Dr. Christine Mangino, back to the stage.
So we have kept it under an hour. Just two more things that weren't mentioned is that the upcoming Transparency series is going more in depth about budget and the facilities. So it's called From Boilers to Budgets, and it is Friday, September 12th at 10 o'clock. And then our EAB super users, the offices, administrative users were Academic Advisement, Center for Tutoring and Academic Support, and the Bursar's office. And the faculty, Arthur Adair, Adam Ludick, and Kevin Kolak. So give a round of applause for all of our super users. And hopefully we're going to get all of the offices on campus up and running because it really is a great communication tool for us to help support our students. So go enjoy each other's company and enjoy the refreshments in the lobby. And thank you all for being here and for all the work you do. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you.